I found out my fiancée was cheating on me with my own father, and now she's pregnant, but none of us know whose baby it is. I caught them red-handed. My mom chose his side at first, and now I'm trying to rebuild my whole life while facing endless drama, heartbreak, and trust issues that seem impossible to overcome. I've never thought I'd be writing or reading something like this, let alone living it, but here we are. My name's Jordan, 27M. My fiancée is Emily, 26F. My dad is Richard, 52M, and my mom is Diane, 50F. Like so many other people who find themselves in these situations, I thought this stuff just happened in movies or on Reddit, but apparently life had different plans for me. So, first-time poster here, never even used Reddit before, just seen stuff pop up on TikTok, and I'm desperate for some advice or even just a place to vent. If you want the whole backstory, here it is. Sorry if I ramble, it's only been a week and my emotions are all over the place. Emily and I met during her first year of college. We both lived in the same dorm, so we bumped into each other a lot. Turns out, we grew up only 2 towns apart, so whenever we headed home on breaks, I let her ride with me. Made no real difference. Only added about 20 minutes. We became really close over those trips and started dating pretty quickly. Both our families are super tight-knit, so we told everyone right away. I'd met her folks a bunch just from dropping her off, but just surface-level things like introductions and small talk. Both our families welcomed us and each other with open arms. Things just kept growing from there. I graduated a year before she did, got a well-paying job right near home, and would visit her as much as possible. After she finished school, she moved in with me since both our jobs were close to where we grew up, and she got an offer at her current company with a great salary. After about 3 years living together, I proposed, and we've been planning our wedding ever since. Now for the part you're probably here to read. Looking back, I see so many red flags that I just ignored. Like my dad constantly calling Emily, and if I was around, the explanation was always, oh, just talking about the family party or some other excuse. Once, Emily was in the shower and her phone rang. It was from my dad, so I picked up. As soon as he heard my voice, he sounded pissed off and shocked, but quickly said he wanted to talk to Emily about my mom's upcoming birthday. We hung up soon after. Even typing this out now, I'm embarrassed I didn't realize sooner. The day I found out, it just seemed totally normal. Emily had Thursdays off, so she made us breakfast, kissed me goodbye, and told me to have a great day. On my way to work, I realized I'd left behind some paperwork I needed for a meeting. Figured I'd swing by for lunch and grab it. I never told her I was coming home at lunch. It wasn't a big deal, so why would I? She texted me throughout the day, just about regular couple stuff. Dinner plans, laundry, whatever. I didn't see the need to mention coming home, so when lunchtime rolled around, I just left and drove back. When I got to our apartment building, I saw a car in the lot that looked like my dad's, but it didn't register. He sometimes dropped by. As soon as I walked in, the movie-like scene hit me square in the face. A trail of clothes, his and hers, leading to our bedroom, and then the undeniable sound of moaning coming from inside. Shock hit me hard. I just stood there, frozen, barely able to process what was happening. My mind felt like it was shattering. Rage, grief, disgust all at once. But if anyone else was watching, they only would have seen me standing there, still as a statue. After who knows how long, I snapped out of my daze. I took out my phone to record, picked up the clothes scattered in the hallway, and threw them out into the apartment building's corridor. Then I filmed myself walking to our bedroom. The door was open, so I stood there, recording for about a minute, before switching on the light. Both of them jumped as the lights came up and looked straight at me. And there it was, my dad, Richard, actually naked in my bed with Emily. My dad started freaking out and tried to grab something to cover himself with, begging me to stop recording. He managed to find a towel, wrapped himself up, and tried to come toward me. I told him to bat the hell off if he didn't want to get hurt, but he must not have cared or heard because he reached for my phone anyway. I clocked him straight in the jaw, his head hit the door, and he went down fast. Emily started screaming. I pointed the camera at her and said something like, "Worried about your fuck buddy, but nothing to say to your fiancé?" Dad finally came to after about a minute. I told them both that I'd just come home for something for work, and if they were still here when I got back, I'd send the video to everyone they knew. Then I stared hard at my dad and told him he was dead to me, never my father again, but he better hurry home and talk to my mom because I'd be speaking to her soon enough. I ended the video and drove away, just sat in my car, numb, until my boss called and asked where the hell I was. I told her I was coming back. When I got to her office to hand off the paperwork, I must have looked a mess because she immediately started asking what had happened. I kept saying I was fine. She noticed blood on my collar and was genuinely freaked until I realized it was my dad's. She got even more worried, so I just showed her the video. She watched the entire thing. She'd met Emily a few times, never my dad. When the realization finally hit, she sat silent for a while, then offered to let me take some time off. I told her I needed to be at the meeting, that I'd be fine. Put on a fresh shirt and went in, slapped on a fake smile for the meeting. My boss asked how I could even function. I just shrugged and left for my office. Went home after work. Finally alone for the first time in years. Writing this out is the first thing that's made me actually do something with my feelings. I know I need to get the hell out of this apartment. I'll never sleep in that bed again. Also, I think I busted something in my hand and probably need to get tested for STDs now. Thanks for reading. I know this is a lot, but just typing it out helps at least a little. Update 1. Hey everyone. Wow, I had no idea so many people would see this post. I honestly didn't plan to come back. I just wanted to let it out and maybe get some advice. After I wrote it up, I fell into a kind of depression, and it finally hit me all at once. For anyone who thinks this is made up, I wish I were that creative. If I was, I'd be writing novels instead of punching a clock. I'll try to reply to more people, but when I logged in, there were just too many messages to get to everyone. Know that I read most of them, and I honestly appreciate every bit, good or bad. So the day after posting, I tried calling my mom to see if she'd have lunch with me so I could tell her everything. She never picked up. After a dozen failed calls, I drove over to her house. She needed to know, even if it would tear me up all over again to explain it. On the drive there, my stomach was twisting into knots. I had to pull over twice to throw up. Telling your mom that her husband is sleeping with your fiancé isn't something anyone gets used to. When I finally pulled up, I sat in my car for a few minutes, gathering myself. Suddenly, my mom came charging out the front door. She started screaming at me, cursing me out for hitting my dad, blaming me for supposedly attacking him while he was trying to break up a fight between me and Emily, according to what he told her anyway. Mom said horrible things, called me an abuser, and said I needed to leave, that Emily isn't ready to forgive me, and if she's smart, she never will. Apparently, Dad took Emily back to my family's house after I knocked him out and told Mom that Emily and I had argued, and when my dad intervened, I hit him. Mom just kept ranting until I finally snapped and said, "Really, Mom? Because your husband is sleeping with my fiancé, that's why I hit him." If you don't believe me, I'll send you the video. But since my own mother can talk to me like this, don't expect to ever have me in your life again. Don't expect my forgiveness when you realize who he actually is. That finally shut her up. She went pale. Probably looked just like me the moment I walked in on them. I pulled out my phone, sent her the video, and waited while she watched up until the lights came on in the recording. She put her phone down and looked up. By then, I turned and just went back to my car. As I backed out of the driveway, I looked at her one last time. She was crying. Part of me felt for her, sure, but after everything she said, I just couldn't bring myself to go back inside. When I got home, I started bagging up anything in the apartment having to do with Emily or my family. Boxed up all of Emily's stuff and put it by the front door. Technically, since she's been living here, I couldn't legally kick her out, but her name's not on the lease. She hates conflict. If she came back for anything besides picking up her stuff, it would just be more yelling. Anything that belonged to my parents got thrown in a storage unit. We'd always been super close, sure, but I've never had a problem cutting toxic people out. I texted Emily's parents, let them know the engagement was over and that Emily had cheated on me. Thanked them for everything. They'd always been kind to me. That made it all hurt worse. I asked if they could come pick up her things. Haven't heard back yet, but I really hope they come soon, so Emily won't have a reason to come back. Update 2. Hey everyone, sorry it's been a while. I'd like to say I'm doing great, but that'd be a lie. Everything just hits in waves. I go from numb to furious to empty again. Since my family is basically gone now, and most of my friends don't know what's happening, I'm basically on my own. A few things have happened since my last post. It's been close to a month. I jumped into all the stuff I needed to handle. Getting tested, finding a therapist, moving, and of course, buying a new bed. I called my doctor's office, scheduled STD tests, and asked for a therapist referral. Had my first session about 2 weeks ago, and my therapist and I decided on weekly appointments. Got tested last week, should get the results soon. Need all the luck I can get. A friend of mine is a realtor, so he sent me listings. I settled on a refurbished cabin out on the edge of the city and finished moving in 2 days ago. After moving, I called Emily's parents to let them know I'd moved and to remind them that she'd still left all her stuff. Landlord will start showing the place soon, so if no one picks up her things, they'll get tossed. Whatever I said must have worked. The next day, the landlord thanked me for clearing everything out. No one knows where I live now, except the friend who sold me this place, so no drop-ins from Emily or my parents. Only downside, I went from a 10-minute walk to work to a 45-minute drive. I get endless calls and texts from Emily, my parents, some friends, but I don't answer anyone except my therapist. At work, I show up, get my stuff done, and leave. If I have to fake a smile or talk to someone, it's exhausting. My boss noticed and keeps trying to check in, but I just say thanks and keep it vague. Honestly, I have no idea if I'll be okay. People say time heals, but that only works if you lose one person, not all 3 people you thought you could trust. Therapy is, well, I have no way of comparing it to anything, but my therapist seems genuine and I feel like I can be honest with her. The first session was all about getting to know each other and me laying out what happened. The second time, she asked a lot about my relationship with my parents, and I told her up until this, everything was good, but it means nothing now. She asked why I cut my mom off completely, and I told her some of the stuff she said to me, you wouldn't even say to your worst enemy. There's no way back. At the end of our last session, I showed her my Reddit post, so if you're reading this, hey doc. Honestly, I thought I'd be at least okay by now. Not happy, but not miserable either. It's probably my fault for not reaching out to friends, but even thinking about text conversations is just too much some days. They'd want to come by or hang out, and I just can't yet. So, for now, it's work, therapy, and sitting on my deck with a cheap whiskey, taking in the view. Haven't gone hunting since high school, but now that I've got my own property, maybe I'll start that up again. Thanks for reading this far. Update 3. Hey everyone, sorry for being gone for so long. Just wanted to let you all know I'm alive and update you on everything that's been happening lately. First of all, thank you to everyone who's been worried or reached out. It means a lot. Right after my last update, everything was still so raw that I pulled away from everything and everyone. I needed to be alone, to heal, to survive. But every single message, comment, and word of support helped, especially when I was at my lowest. For that, I'll never be able to thank you enough. I ended my last post talking about getting tested and trying to put my life back together. Good news, test results all came back clean, and I'm beyond relieved. Also, I'm fully settled into my new cabin. When I first told you all, it was a refurbished place, but in reality, that was 25 or 30 years ago. So using all my free time, I started fixing it up for real. Now all that's left is painting the guest room, which I've made my new office. Only thing I didn't do myself was messing with the electrical and plumbing. I didn't want to electrocute myself or get my hands dirty with sewage. All the repairs have been weirdly therapeutic, helped me clear my mind. Still going to therapy every week. Honestly, it probably saved my life. Venting, getting advice, and having someone listen has helped me more than anything. I'm still at the same company, but my therapist encouraged me to open up to a few closer coworkers, so I've tried. Even started reconnecting with some friends again, trying to rejoin the group, thanks to both your suggestions and her encouragement. Now for the update you're probably waiting for. What's going on with my family and Emily? I decided it was finally time to talk to my mom. About a month ago, I unblocked her and called. She answered almost immediately, and I could hear the panic in her voice. After I said who it was, I told her we should meet. She agreed, and a day later, we met up at a diner near her place. She was there before me, and when she saw me, she started silently crying. As soon as I sat down, she apologized again and again, saying she only believed them because she never dreamed something like that could ever happen. I told her I appreciated her apology, but the stuff she said to me was unconscionable and told me exactly how little she thought of me. She started sobbing even harder, swore that it wasn't true, and explained that she was just so angry when she thought I'd hit Dad, she never gave me a chance. I didn't want to go back and forth arguing, so I changed the topic. So what did you end up doing about him? She told me they've separated, that she kicked Dad out the day after I sent her the video and hired a lawyer right away. Then she brought up Emily. She said that after I cut contact, Emily showed up at my mom's house and told her she's pregnant. Emily doesn't know if the baby is mine or my dad's. Emily wanted to know if we'd been in touch so she could update me. Obviously, Mom said we hadn't been talking, then sent her away. That's where I stand now. I still have no clue how I'm supposed to feel, and my mind is spinning. Thanks for reading this far. Sorry I kept going on and on. That's it for this story. This story highlights the devastating impact of betrayal by those closest to you and the long process of healing and rebuilding trust, even when family ties are involved. Sometimes, taking distance is the healthiest choice, and seeking support can make all the difference. What do you think? What would you do if two of the people you trusted most betrayed you? Could you ever forgive, or would you move on for good? Share your thoughts in the comments.